morning, all. My name is Erez Golomb, the co-founders of inTouch Life. Today we have a distinguished guest with us, Veronica Dawkins Hamilton from LedgerProof.
Yes.
Thank you for being with us today,
Pleasure to be
Veronica.
with you, Erez.
And why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit?
Oh, wow. About myself. Well, I am the founder and owner of LedgerProof. It is an amazing company, but I hail from New York City, which we're excited because the New York Knicks just won the championships.
The 53 years?
Yes, I own three other companies, but currently what we're just here to discuss is our most important piece of business, which is LedgerProof.
Not the Knicks game.
No, although we can talk just a little bit about it. It's
No,
totally
it's
fine.
okay.
I'm a diehard Knicks
okay.
fan and a legacy basketball family. My family is also from New York, but my uncle's Kenny the Jet Smith, and he's a legacy basketball
Yes, he is.
guy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And he did phenomenal jobs at the game.
Thank you. He and his co-hosts,
Yeah.
Shaq and Ernie. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about LedgerProof.
Okay, so LedgerProof is basically it takes any piece of documentation and it adds a fingerprint that makes it immutable. And that fingerprint actually is from the mathematics of Bitcoin, which hence the name LedgerProof. But it is currently we are working on a niche of a very important process, which I'm sure we'll get into.
So if we try to kind of dive a little bit more into this LedgerProof, would it be based on a blockchain technology? Is it anything to do with blockchain?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So what you're doing is you're taking a piece of documentation of any kind and you are anchoring it to the blockchain using the blockchain's math. The thing about LedgerProof is that we do not retain any piece of your actual documentation.
Right.
What we do is pretty much just provide a receipt that allows for you to be able to go back and say that this was your piece of documentation at this particular time. It was anchored by you, and it is tamper-evident. So you cannot even change one comma without it flagging in our systems. And it is amazing because so many people. The problem with documentation is that it can be tampered with. It can any piece, even metadata, it can be changed. It can be tampered with. It can be altered, and that makes it very scary for people and companies and people who need for their documentation to stay stabilized.
So every transaction practically is being hashed.
Yes, every single transaction is being hashed.
Transparency.
Yes, so it's transparent. It's open source. We are not charging for this technology. It is a specific protocol that could be used by anyone. Okay. All companies, they can literally put an adapter right into their systems and put their documentation right into the Bitcoin ledger.
Okay. So we talked about it before.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I asked you was, so how is it different than DocuSign?
Oh, it's very different than DocuSign.
Because we all know DocuSign, right?
Yeah.
Documents and all that.
Yeah. So the comparison that it's similar in that is that both have a timestamp. Right. But there's a difference between what DocuSign does. We do not sign documents. Right. So you do not send your document to someone else to have it signed.
Sure.
That's what DocuSign does.
Right.
It is the second layer. So the second layer from DocuSign would be how to make it yours, how to make it tamper-evident and something that you can bring straight to a judge in litigation, or whatever scenario, and for sure it has not been changed.
Right.
This is what LedgerProof does.
Right.
It takes that documentation and it allows it to be. And while I love DocuSign, we use it every day, but it is one of those scenarios in which DocuSign last year had been hacked. Right. The documents were tampered with, and people were changing dates and numbers and changing things to make it theirs. With LedgerProof, you cannot do that. It is mathematically anchored.
Right. And it's the blockchain.
Yes, it's mathematically
right.
anchored into the Bitcoin blockchain.
Right. And you mentioned something very unique about the product is that that entities, companies, businesses that work with your product, they actually it's private.
Yes.
They own their own
Yes.
data.
Yes.
Can you please explain a little bit about that?
So the way LedgerProof is designed is it is designed as a self-sovereign notary,
Okay.
which means that just think of it from the angle of going to a notary. There's usually you, the notary. There's 3 different people that have to agree to your documentation for it to officially get notarized.
Right.
With LedgerProof, because it is anchored mathematically, there is no need for a second person. It is self-sovereign.
Okay.
Right? There is no need for you to stand in front of a person and swear and attest, and it is self-attestation.
Right.
Right? So the reason why we created it this way is because we don't need to see your documentation. We don't need to know what you do. We're not the police. Our job is pretty much to allow for you to have this documentation and it be yours, and you can take it to any regulator, auditor, judge, legalese, any person, any insurance company can move their documentation comfortably without us ever seeing it, but it be anchored into the world, anchored in by mathematics, not by another person.
2 days ago, 3 days ago, there
Yeah.
was something about a Bloomberg thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Something about an EU. Can you please touch about what was that thing?
Okay, so right now, LedgerProof is niched.
Okay.
Sure, anyone can use it. Again, it's open protocol, etc. Every company should be using it right now because compliance is an incredibly important structure. But as we call this we're calling this the El Nino
That's
of
right.
AI because what's happened is the European Union created something called Article 50. And it's called the EU AI Act. I suggest anyone and everyone out there look at it. Because what this is it's the European Union's way of saying, hey, we're going to regulate you. We're going to make sure that you are compliant with what our 14, I believe, scenarios are. No deep fakes, and if you are doing those things, then pretty much we will make sure that you are doing them correctly. There are compliance companies out there, but the one thing that I mentioned before is all metadata is mutable, meaning everything can be changed. The one layer that LedgerProof adds into this process is that we are immutable. So your documentation becomes yours forever, meaning once it goes into the blockchain, it becomes yours, right? It's yours.
Right.
With this EU AI Act, unfortunately, they're catching people. It's an audit, and they don't care. They're coming for you. What's happening is they're charging 15 million euro for one infringement.
That's a lot of money.
Or here's the thing: 3% of your annual revenue, and that's the middle layer. There's a lower layer and then a top layer, which is at the top scale. If you're, really far in penalty and regulation, it's 35 million euros and 7% of annual revenue. Think about companies that are super large scale and super expensive, right? And do a lot with AI. If they do not have their documents, meaning their deep fakes or their chat logs or chat bot logs or digital imaging, all that stuff, ledger proofed, they can get caught very comfortably, and there's no problem. They can literally take that per infringement, 15 million euro.
So to tie it into LedgerProof, how would LedgerProof would be? So LedgerProof has an AI component into it.
Yes,
or could
it does.
have one.
Yes, it does. It is not just it's not just regular documentation. It is documentation, PDFs and Word documents and all kinds of documents that we use every single day. But it is also specifically for AI documentation. So there are millions different kinds of AI documentation, and they're all different ways we use it. We use Canva, we use Claude, and Anthropic, and we use all kinds of things to work with our within companies, and we're using them at a faster rate than ever. And what LedgerProof will do was it adds to your compliance stack. It's not the compliance stack itself, but it adds to the compliance stack to allow for your information to be completely auditable, and you can send it right into to any auditor today.
So if I'm trying to break it down for an industry, or is there a specific industry that LedgerProof would cater to?
Every industry.
Every industry,
Every
right?
industry that
So you
that
guys
has
agnostic.
we're
practically.
agnostic. We have it could be any industry. It could be insurance. I mean, think about your insurance, the insurance documents and the claims.
I'm trying not to.
Claims that are or legal documents as
Right.
well, right? We're talking about trusts and wills, any piece of
Oh, that's
important information,
Yeah.
right? That is important to us. It has to be anchored into something. Otherwise, it's changeable. Think about how many times you've seen probate court,
Like title companies.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Real estate
Recording,
companies, right? Title companies,
Yeah.
exactly.
Interesting. Okay, I'll recommend.
Yeah,
a
of
title company,
course,
but,
of course, yeah.
So, industry agnostics, documents surrounding the documents, AI footprint.
Yes, AI footprint, and that's pretty much it. Again, it's not some grand scale idea.
Yeah.
It's really simple. Pretty much, you want your documents to belong to you forever, long after LedgerProof is gone. Long after our children and children's children are gone. If there is an opportunity to get on, to have internet access, and you can get onto the blockchain, you can check out and make sure that your documentation is never changed. And what does that mean? What would that help in the world when it comes down to actual documentation, actual things that matter to us as humans? What does that mean for people, even past important industries like insurance and legal and math, medical documentation?
Very important, by the way.
Yeah. What about artists, right? And their actual artistic value, their paintings and their worth. Things need to be anchored in. And again, this is a self-sovereign notary on steroids. It's the biggest part of what documentation should be at this moment.
So if you need to put like a bullet points to if you sit in front of a CEO of a company, what would be the main bullet point that you would highlight as a reasoning why someone would use LedgerProof? Because it sounds awesome. It solves a lot of issues.
Yeah.
It's a great technology.
Yeah.
It's a proof technology too. Blockchain
Yeah.
is a proof technology.
It's a proof technology. Yeah.
Companies can host their own servers, and they
Yeah.
can. Nothing is in the open.
Absolutely.
So then there we go, the privacy.
Right.
So what would be those bullet points, beside the one that I mentioned, on top of what I mentioned?
Well, I think you used the exact word. It's bulletproof.
Okay.
That's what LedgerProof is. It makes your documents bulletproof. And that is the most important thing right now. When there's so many different things that are changeable, there's deep fakes of every kind. Documents are changed left and right. Metadata doesn't exist. It makes your documents of every kind bulletproof.
I still remember, I told you that before in my IT days, that if someone wanted to know what's going on, what happened, you would go to the server logs.
Right.
Server logs can be altered as well.
Yes, they can.
If someone knows what he's doing.
Right.
And they say, oh, that was the guy who did all that things. Yeah. So that's gone.
Yeah, no,
That's gone.
it will be gone. Like, again, LedgerProof is the only company that is doing this currently.
Yeah.
And we need to get the word out there that, again, the El Nino of AI is coming, and they need to be able to bulletproof their documents.
I like the El Nino.
As well. Yeah, it's coming.
The storm is coming.
The storm is coming. And the difference between El Nino
Right.
coming to the Pacific coast versus what LedgerProof is trying to solve
Right.
is that we actually have a date for this El Nino of AI.
What's the date, by the way?
It's August 2nd, 2026. That is when the EU AI Act Article 50 is actually enacted.
Taking effect, yeah.
It's a mandate.
You think it's going to be also in the U.S. version of it?
Yes, of course. Any companies that you utilize that just happen to be in the EU, that's just the start. You got to think in terms of the fact that all companies are everywhere. Microsoft is in both the U.S. and in the EU and in Asia and in South America. It's global.
Yeah.
Each company that is Anthropic is
Right.
it is worldwide. It is global.
True.
It's global, but it's universal.
It's true.
Right? And these companies are not, just here in the United States, and they don't care where you are. If you happen to have any footprint in the EU, they can come after you.
I didn't ask you that question. I should have maybe asked you at the beginning. But what makes you think about LedgerProof? How did it start?
Okay, so how did I create LedgerProof? Well,
yes,
I'm going to be honest with you. It started with a strange, fun project.
Okay.
The project that I was working on at the time was a trading platform.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it was a trading platform. Okay. And what I was attempting to do was something that I patented, and LedgerProof is also patented. The technology within it is patented by my company, was to prove that a trade was made before the trade happened.
All right.
So it was an autonomous trading platform that I initially had, and it's pretty cool, and it did some awesome things. But what I learned out of this incredibly advanced technology, complex trading, one small piece made it important, and that was what became LedgerProof. And that patented piece pretty much was the catalyst to where we are today, which is that you need to be able to prove something existed. And how we ended up proving it was putting it onto the Bitcoin mainnet. Mm-hmm. Through the Bitcoin mainnet, we moved around some pieces, put together the patent, and here we are with LedgerProof.
Voila, you got an omelet.
Voila.
Very nice, very nice. It's a nice story.
Thank you, thank you.
It's very unique, by the way. Of course.
Yeah. I'm people are always like, oh, you look like a corporate lady and all that cool stuff, and I'm actually just the nerd in the basement with my. There's
nothing wrong with the
hoodie
with the corporate lady.
Yes, there isn't, but there also isn't anything wrong with the nerds, and that's me.
There you go.
But yeah, LedgerProof is exciting, but it's also important. So please get the word out there. The EU AI Act is coming August 2nd, 2026.
I wish we would have that thing with the questions from the audience, because it's very interesting to hear other people's questions.
Of course, and you're welcome to ask me any questions. I'm Veronica at LedgerProof.hq.io. And you're welcome to ask any questions. LedgerProof is LedgerProofHQ.io. We're here. We're available to have conversations with. And, of course, you can always talk with our broker of record, inTouch.
Oh,
and,
I know them.
You guys are the broker of record, and we're excited to move this forward. But please get the word out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Veronica, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's been a pleasure, Erez.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And with that, we will end this podcast. Look forward to see you guys in another podcast to be determined. Thank you.